All right, we're going to start with this Mag 7 chart, right? So take a look at this chart. I want to get your take on it. Something I think is interesting is that this part right here, we haven't seen the Mag 7 hit a new high since all the way back in October. What are the charts telling us about the path forward?
That's right. I think it's telling us that we're about to have that happen. This is what we call a cup and handle pattern. It's a bullish formation. And what you do is you have a breakout, you have a measure move, and that would get us there. Now, of course, it all matters what's happening underneath the surface. So we know some stocks are doing very well, Tesla, so forth and so on. But what's interesting about the Mag 7 is that we haven't had the stocks move in unison for quite some time. So three of them that I'm looking at is Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft. Look at those charts. They've kind of went back and forth recently. But if that happens, this is what we expect.
Okay.
Because we've seen breakouts before like this, right? And I expect the same thing to happen again now.
Is there one stock within the Mag 7 that you need to see really outperform the broader market in order to push this Mag 7 ETF and just that group of stocks higher in the new year?
Other than the last three we just talked about, of course, NVIDIA. Which has been flat for a few weeks to months as well.
All right, we're going to move on to your next chart right now. Clear that out for us, Frank. Take a look at the next chart. I believe it's the XLV we're looking at right here, right? So this is the healthcare ETF. A lot of talk about healthcare recently. It's recently been led by drug makers. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I know they had some negotiations with the White House about prices and a few other things. Is that positive, and is that going to lead to a positive trend for this ETF?
What has been. PJP ETF for pharmaceuticals is up 30% in 4 months. XLV up 20% in 4 months, which is the biggest 4-month move in its history. If you recall, I was here in Worldwide Exchange back in August talking about a mean reverting move. It didn't happen until August, but hey, now we are back here. So I think eventually you get a breakout. I'd like to see more consolidation first, kind of like what we were talking about with the last chart, maybe a higher low here, have more digestum come up, but I think eventually you see a breakout.
I want to point out for the audience, though, the last chart was a year-to-date chart, I believe, but it was going by months. This one's going by years. So this period of time's a lot longer than the other period of time we were looking at. The fact that you're seeing this move right here, what does that say to you about this trade?
Well, it's had a great comeback. And of course, no one wanted to go in healthcare for the longest time. We have a very sharp move to the upside now. Now, everyone loves it. So maybe we need more of a digestive phase before we see the breakout.
All right. As we do our third chart of this Frank and Frank segment, dealer's choice. What chart do you want to look at next?
Here we go, XLF Financials. And as we can tell here, another period here where we've seen a potential breakout to new highs. And again, we're going all the way back to 2011.
Yeah, we're going way back on this one. Way back.
But what do we see? A pattern that continues to repeat. A long consolidation breakout, new all-time highs. Most important thing, follow through. Follow through. We're talking about follow through for years. So if that's going to be repeated, this could just be the beginning stages of that.
Okay, could be the beginning stages. I want to ask you, since we're going all the way back, how much of this upside movement is led by the idea of rate cuts? Because certainly here, one factor in this upside move on this end of the chart has been the Fed cutting rates.
I think that's a big part of it. But if you look back to what's been going on here, there's been rates moving lower and higher. So I think it's a big part of it. But you have financials, second biggest sector in the whole S&P 500, so eventually need that to be part of the leadership role going forward.
All right, so again, similar question to the Mag 7. Is there one stock in this group that we need to see do a breakout, outperform the market, outperform the XLF, to continue to push the financials higher in the new year?
Yes, JP Morgan, which is the second biggest stock within the XLF, and obviously right there. And it looks very similar to this. Now, if you look at the daily chart, that's about to break out as well.
All right. We're showing the JP Morgan chart right here. So you're seeing a similar pattern to the ETF here, but you're saying if this shows leadership, it's a very bullish sign for the group.
Exactly. So we can see it's about to break out from this again. Very similar looking pattern, but going all the way back to here, really hasn't done much through September and October. So eventually get that. And again, very similar story. What have we seen on the way back here? Another breakout, breakout, breakout. And sometimes it doesn't happen right away. You need some periods of back and forth movement, finally get that next push.
Important to point out, this one since April, so we're seeing a number of breakouts throughout the year.